In collaboration with WTJX, the League of Women Voters of the Virgin Islands is pleased to present one-on-one interviews with candidates for the 7th legislative seat in the Virgin Islands legislature from the St. Thomas St. John district. All candidates were contacted and invited to participate. 4 either declined or did not respond to our invitation. I'm Gwen Marie Molinar of the League of Women Voters, and today we are pleased to have Mr. Darien L. Wheatley for an interview. Welcome, Mr. Wheatley, and please introduce yourself.
Yes, good day, Dr. Molinar. I wish to thank the League of Women Voters and WTJX for inviting me here today to give my views on my candidacy for the office coming up for the Senate special election scheduled for April 8, 2017. I was born here in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, back in 1960, September 21st, some time ago. And I grew up here. My mother is Dr. Valeria Wheatley, who was a teacher, school teacher here for many years, then retired superintendent of schools at St. Thomas St. John District. My father, Cardiff, the late Cardiff Wheatley, better known as Booze, he was a bartender at Blue Bears Castle Hotel for over 30 years. I'm married to my wife, Bernice Miller Wheatley. We were married for 26 years. We've raised 2 sons and 1 daughter together. So, and also I'm part of the Thomas Skelton Scout group. Thomas has been leading us for many years. So I have many roots here in the Virgin Islands and in Tortola, so I've been here a while. I've worked at the, well actually let me go to my education. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from Temple University, and I have a paralegal certificate from Center Plaza Institute. Both schools are located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've worked at for the government of the Virgin Islands for over 26 years, starting with the Territorial Court, which is now is Superior Court. Then moving on to, I worked at Government House, I worked at Territorial Public Defender, and now for the last 16 years, I've worked at the Department of Justice. I'm a paralegal officer there and parole coordinator for the Virgin Islands Parole Board. I've held those positions for many years. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, well, let me ask then. Could you identify for us what you think are unique characteristics about you that would encourage voters to select you over the remaining 12?
Okay, a couple of things. One, I have, through my paralegal work, I'm a legal researcher. So I'm able to go and do legal research and figure out bills and look at legislation and figure it out for myself. I don't have to rely on a third party to do it. That's very important. And furthermore, I have solutions to the problems we are facing right now in the territory. Thirdly, I'm a historical candidate in this respect. If I'm elected, I'm going to cut my salary by $10,000 and donate it to the GERS to help with that fund over there, because we know the GRS has a lot of problems right now. So that's one thing, and I'm declaring, I'm the only candidate declaring this, that I don't believe that we should be balancing the budget of the government of the Virgin Islands on the backs of our government workers. So therefore, I'm not going to be cutting any salaries, and I'm not sending anybody home. I was around here, I guess about 8 years ago or 9 years ago, when we had the 8%. That destroyed the economy of the Virgin Islands. And I'm declaring to the voters right now that Darien Wheatley is not going to do any of that foolishness.
Good. Okay, so how will you generate revenues? What will you do to generate the revenues that would allow you to do what you're suggesting?
Okay, a couple ways we're going to do it. One thing that we have right now that's straining a lot of our monies is the health insurance, the government health insurance plan. It's a full funded plan. I propose that we do a self-funded plan where we hire insurance, and let me explain this to the people to make it clear, because when the people think self-funded plan, they think it's going to be the Virgin Islands Insurance. It's not going to be the Virgin Islands. It's going to be Mark Cigna or Aetna, or whatever insurance company we pick. We're still going to have an insurance company, and they will do the administrative duties of the plan. But the administrative duty, we're going to pay them a set fee. Set fee, that's what we're going to pay them. Then we're going to have the funds that we do, the premiums we collect, what we pay in, the government and the government workers, will go into a special trust fund, and the monies will be paid out of the trust fund. Now, after the money is paid into the trust fund, that's very key. I want people to understand that it's not going to be going into government coffers or the general fund, so they'll be raided by the senators. So I want to make that perfectly clear. That's not what's going to happen. So after we set that up, we're also going to have catastrophic insurance. Because the question would be, let's say we get more claims than the money we collect. We'll be in trouble, right? Oh, okay, no. The catastrophic insurance will cover it. The majority of plans, like where we have about 7,000 people, the majority of plans in the United States are self-funded plans, and all the major insurance companies involved in it. We can save between 10 to 25% savings. That's what is shown when you look at the statistics, is the savings when you move from a full-funded to a self-funded plan.
Okay, so you have some very definite ideas about how we're going to go about to address health insurance. And so let me ask you then, what are two other major issues that you see of concern to Virgin Islands that you would want to work on as a member of the Senate?
Well, first of all, the GRS is a major thing we have to work on. We can't allow the GRS to fold.
What do you see yourself as a senator being able to do for that?
Well, a couple things. A couple things we're going to do with the GRS. One thing is this: we have to get ourselves a fund, a dedicated funding source to pay towards the GRS. That's one thing. So we have to do that. Another thing is we can't allow the board right now, the GRS board, to continue doing business as it's been doing before, as it's been doing right now. And some of that is the legislature's fault. We allowed the GRS, they passed a bill allowing them to do alternative investment. That has been a complete disaster. One of my first bills will be to get rid of that. So they can't do that anymore. The good example is Carambola, where we gave them $15 million, and they used appraisal that was 3 years old, which I find highly ridiculous, because if I was to go get a loan and I'm in the system, they weren't going to accept appraisal that was less than 3 months old. But they accepted one that was 3 years old. They paid all this money to this person, they defaulted, and now we're in trouble with this alternative plan.
So you do have ideas then of things that the legislature can do.
Oh, yes.
Tell me the second area that you are concerned about and that you would do something about as a senator.
Okay, well, we got some other areas. One, for example, all these potholes we have around this place. The road infrastructure is a big problem we have around here. I know the governor is planning to do some major road projects, but we got some side roads and other roads that,
what can the legislature do?
Well, the legislature can pass legislation to get some pothole trucks. Up in the States, they have pothole trucks. And what these trucks are, they cost about, I think, between $150,000 to $200,000. They could be manned by 1 or 2 people. And what these trucks do to go around, they can, and nothing to, even have water in the holes, in the potholes. They can vacuum the water out. It takes them about 90 seconds to fill it up because they have the asphalt is in the back of the truck, and it's heated and keeps it at a certain temperature. This is something been going on for years in the States. And the days of us having a truck filled with asphalt, having about 4 or 5 guys walk behind it with shovels, those days are come and gone. That's Stone Age fixing potholes. We have technology. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, I want to give you as much time as possible
Sure.
so we could cover as many issues. So the 3 areas that you identified were revenue generation, you spoke about the GERS, and you have also spoken about infrastructure issues for the Virgin Islands. So tell me, what do you see as your general approach to solving problems? Because as a senator, you've got to move from being concerned about problems to how you're going to offer solutions. What approaches are you going to use in a general way for coming up with solutions to the many problems that you're going to be facing as a senator?
Now, that's a great question. Let me tell you what the solution is. First of all, my approach is this. I'm not bringing anything to the Virgin Islands which hasn't been proven. I like to get ideas through my research of things that have worked somewhere else first. We're dealing with the government's money, the people's money, and we should have some things that are proven. I'll give you a good example of that. I want to reestablish the Virgin Islands Housing Police Force. That police force, when it was in the housing communities, did very well, It cut down on violence that was there. We did not have the amount of violence we're seeing right now in the housing communities in the territory when we had that organization there. That is a proven organization, showed it work. So that is something I'm going to put a bill to reestablish it. Go to get federal funds to reestablish it because it showed it worked, something that's proven.
So you said then that your general approach, because we want to look at general
Sure.
approaches, would be to see what works elsewhere and adapt it to the Virgin Islands.
Exactly, adapt
Yeah.
it to Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Very key.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good approach. Do you see any areas for election reform in the Virgin Islands? Do you think that there are any areas that we need to be looking at?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think, for example, the way we do things now, I think the only place I think on the American flag, when we go, like senators, that we have the top 7. And I think senators are not responsible because everybody's running against everybody. It hurts the party system. I think what would be best if we ran for numbered seats. So you would have seat 1, seat 2, whatever, to seat 7. And individuals could pick which seat they want to run in. And if you're in a Democratic Party, you run for those seats.
Do you see that as different from district governance?
Well, it's a little different. Well, district governments, I think, going to be a problem because I've lived here long enough. Now we have to decide how we're going to do the districts. Now, you're not going to be a fight all over the place. You're going to have a fight over in Hospital Ground, going out to Bavodi. You have a fight in the Red Hook area. How are you going to split the island up? You know, we can't even decide in the Constitution. I mean, how many failed constitutional conventions we had? 4, 5? I think that's kind of a record on the American flag. So I could imagine the fight we're going to have to try to do district in the United States right now. You have all these fights over how they cut up districts. So that's going to be a monumental fight. I don't want to get involved in that. My thing, if we have the seats, that's where people can actually vote on who they don't like. If Darien Wheatley, is, for example, was elected, I'm in seat 1. People say, well, Wheatley, you're messing up. We don't get rid of Wheatley. So what happened? You have about 5 or 6 people running against me, and then they're going to throw me out. Because we could want to get rid of the guy in seat 1. So I look at that as a way of where the people can go and get responsibility from the senators, because you can target the senator and remove him. Right now, when it's the top 7, that's more difficult.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about the size of the legislature?
I don't have any problem with the size. I mean, that was decided through the Organic Act.
Although we did have a referendum?
Yeah, my thing is this. I think Lorraine Berry said it best. She said that if you have 9 senators and only 5 show up, only 5 you have to bribe, or 3 you have to bribe. So my problem is this. My problem is this. You can have 15, we have had 15 senators and it wasn't paid anything. They were paid a stipend. My thing is we have a $19 million budget right now for the legislature. I propose we need to cut that budget. The budget is too large. That's why I'm cutting my salary by $10,000 because the people are asking for sacrifice from the senators. And right now, they're not showing any sacrifice. So my thing is, I remember when Rocky Lambert was president not too long ago, the budget for the legislature was $12 million. Now it's 19. So you could have 9 people spend $19 million. That doesn't mean you're going to cut down. They just split it up more among themselves. So to me, it's the money that is being spent, not the number of senators. So we have to address the budget and the money the senators are being spent rather than the number of people in there. Because as Lorraine Berry said, and I'm concerned about that, if you have less senators, you have less people to bribe. And let's face it, some of our senators have been bribed in the past and made some very bad legislation. Another thing I think we should do to deal with that with some situation is lame ducks. Act 6905 is a perfect example. It was passed in a lame duck session. The majority of states in the United States do not have lame duck sessions. They have the legislation is set up in such a way that after the election, until the next body is sworn in January, also it's in November, in January, they do not allow any major legislation to take part.
Of course, that would be a very important thing for us here in the Virgin Islands,
yeah,
because we've seen what has happened there.
Yes, we've seen what happened. So if we tell you the truth, that's one of the bills I want to introduce, lame duck legislation. I mean,
Mr. Wheatley, you clearly have some great ideas and lots of ideas, and I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts and ideas with the voters of the Virgin Islands. I also want to thank WTJX for this time. The League of Women Voters of the Virgin Islands encourages all eligible voters to vote on April 8th. Those who come out to vote and can convince others to do the same help determine who our leaders will be. We have major issues in the Virgin Islands that require capable and informed leadership. Your vote can help determine who will fill the vacant seat in our legislature. So we'll see you at the polls on April 8th.